What do you say we start this video with some skateboarding? What is good? How are you? How are you? I'm gonna get an iced coffee, a grande.
Do you want famous sugar in it?
Put cream in it and put 2 pumps of vanilla.
Okay. Are you here for a short period of time?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm famous. Can I just have it for free?
I was gonna say you're all famous now and everything.
It was a joke. It was a joke. Say hey.
Hi.
Hi. I support. What do they think? Money grows on trees around here? Could have swore that would work. From now on, I'm gonna try that every time I go to Starbucks, and eventually it'll probably work. One of the main questions I get asked is, what's your worst injury? Or have you broken a bone? Or something to that effect. But the real question is, where did my beard go from the last clip? That was a joke. But for real though, the answer is yes, I've broken a lot of bones. 19 to be exact. But before I tell you about the worst ones, there's a game of skate going on right now at LAZZ skate park. So I'm gonna go there and hopefully win some money. Who the heck is that guy? Hi. Is your full name Tyson?
No, Tyler.
Tyler?
Yep.
Hey, Tyler.
Hi. How do you feel about losing?
Since Barton beat me.
Give us your testimony.
I gave him that. Yeah.
Still got ice on my neck.
Outlets with that.
About to have a threesome with some bad bitch.
We made it, guys. Your boy's a few $100s richer now, and I couldn't have done it without your support. Shout out to my mom. For real though, the sun's going down, and I'm in Asheville right now with my buddy Larson and my buddy Justin. So we're gonna skate the streets.
What is going on with this?
Keep going.
Whoa!
Hey, let's get it.
What?
Dude, is that a dune bucket?
I don't think anybody knows this is on fire.
Hey, Billy is working.
This
They just don't know.
This dude is just dipping. I feel like he did this and now he's just out.
Bro. Oh. Oh. Yo. The feds came through. They about to get it. Yo, he's got that. Ooh.
That went in the box. You see it?
Yo, keep it going, keep it going.
6 or 7 years, then we went to war, then we went on tour, rock around our blind, just to pass the time. Oh, now she's gone.
Like I said earlier in the video, one of my main questions by far that people ask me is what's my worst injury or how many bones have I broken. I mentioned earlier that I've broken about 19 to be exact. But when people ask me what's my worst injury, I don't really know what my worst one is, but I've had a pretty good bit of bad ones. A few years ago, I was filming for my first video part ever called Bum Squad. If you haven't seen that, I'll put the link in the description so you can watch it. I was filming at my high school, and this is actually the high school that I graduated from. Outside of the high school, there's an amphitheater that has a really good 4-block. You can skate it like a 3-block or a 4-block. I ended up going there and filming a pretty good nollie backside flip down it. So I landed the nollie backside flip in like 5 or 6 tries. Since I landed it pretty quick, I wanted to try to get another trick, you know? So I decided I would try to do a switch tray flip down it. So I gave the switch tray flip a few tries, right? Almost every time I would try it, I would catch the board, but I would end up kicking it out. And just out of the blue, one of those attempts that I kicked out, I ended up landing on my right foot first, but I landed on it where my right foot was bended inward, sort of, and my body just folded over top of it and snapped my ankle. That one hurt a lot. I can't remember the recovery time on that one, but I know I was out for a while. I was on crutches and I had a big boot on. Then they had to put a cast on it after the boot. I've broken both of my wrists several times, not always from skateboarding, because I've definitely broken bones doing other random things like climbing trees or jumping over rivers. Just being a little hellraiser, you know what I mean? But either way, they've been broken a lot. One time my wrist had been hurting for like an entire year. Like I thought it was just sore or something from skating. I went to the orthopedics and apparently there's a bone like behind your thumb that's in your wrist called your scaphoid bone. Mine had been broken for an entire year. I had just been living life for a year with a broken wrist. So when they took the x-rays and they told me it was broken, I was like, what? That's why it's been hurting this long. But while we're talking about my wrists, my left wrist is the one that was broken 3 times in total. I don't think I actually have a video of this one, but it was kind of just your basic, you know, fall back and catch yourself and break your wrist. But my orthopedic doctor told me that since it had been broken 3 times, the bones were dying in it. They weren't getting enough blood flow because of all the damage. They actually had to scoop out part of my hip bone like it was some ice cream and then relocate it into my wrist. Then they had to put a pin and a couple screws in there to hold it in. Sometimes when you get a metal pin put in your body, you get it taken out a few years later, but the doctors told me that this one was permanent and it's gonna be in my body for the rest of my life. I was an avid art fan in high school. I made a lot of art and won some awards. I ended up cutting out my x-ray and using it in a little art piece that I made. I got some other x-rays in here too. Another injury I had wasn't really that bad. It was just kind of scary because when you hit your head, it's kind of always a scary deal. So again, I was filming for my bum squad part. But we went to this spot to skate some benches, and I ended up getting a clip on the benches that took about 2 hours, and I was really drained and tired. It had rained earlier that day, so there was puddles on the ground and whatnot. On the way out from the benches, you had to walk up this 17 stair. Had a perfect run up, perfect landing and everything. And I was tired, but I was like, maybe I can just huck an ollie down this thing and maybe I'll kickflip it or something. So I told my filmer, I was like, yo, let me just ollie this first try, film it. What I didn't know was that my feet were actually a little bit wet from the puddle at the bottom of the stairs. So I hucked the ollie and I made it all the way down perfect. Landed pretty much bolts actually, but my feet just slid off of my grip tape and I ended up hitting my head on the ground pretty hard. Ow! It kind of cut me a little, but there was no severe damage there, which was great. That's pretty much the only head-hitting scare I've ever had in my life. Wear those helmets, kids. Another cool fact, I've broken all of my fingers and most of my toes. It's kind of funny, I ended up becoming like a regular at my orthopedic doctor, so they would always make jokes like they're gonna reserve me a parking spot there. There was this like 1.5 to 2 year period where there was a cast on me somewhere for a straight 2 years. Like I would get one off and another one put on or something. I go too hard, man. Another injury, maybe one of the first ones that I remember because I was probably only like 10 or 11 years old. I was at my local skate park back in the day, which was called Zero Gravity. A skate park's been closed down for years now, but rest in peace, you'll always have a place in my heart. I was like 12 years old, I think, or maybe I was like 11. I was young. This was one of my first injuries that I remember. I wish I got a video of this one because it would look gnarly, but I remember I was popping my board up. I was trying to learn 50-50s. They had this box in the back, kind of like maybe a foot tall manual pad. It had angle iron on one end and it had coping on the other end. And I was just trying to learn 50-50s. Like I could do them on really, really small things, but I had never done a 50 on this box before. I didn't really have the legs to get my board up there yet. And I got onto the box and my trucks barely made it up there. And I was kind of leaning forward and I wasn't fully locked in. So my trucks were barely there. And since my body was leaning forward, my board kind of shot back. And I swear to you, I fell forward and I hit my teeth on the metal part. I literally bit the angle iron. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. The inside of this tooth is like fake. It's like a different color. I gotta get a better shot of that. In the inside, like this little corner. Do you see how it's darker right there? I remember immediately grabbing my mouth and looking down and seeing like teeth on the ground and like some blood and my lips were busted. And you know, being like an 11-year-old kid, I thought I was like gonna die. I remember I just started crying and I just ran into the concession area, like holding my bloody mouth. There was all these other like kids my age and even younger, and they were all freaking out thinking I was gonna die. And at the time, the manager of the skate park was Susan Bryant. So she immediately called my parents, got me to take some Tylenol or whatever painkiller she had, and she put a bunch of napkins in my mouth. And shortly after that, I had a dentist appointment, I'm sure. Let's see what else. Went to the Mediterranean Sea one time and put some sand in a Coke bottle. Now, here's what I want you to do. I know you guys have broken bones. I know you guys have torn muscles and ligaments and whatever else you can tear. Comment below what your worst injury is and maybe I'll cringe a little bit. I didn't really plan this video out or spend too much time thinking about it, but I hope you guys liked it. I have a video that's almost done that I've been working on for a couple weeks now. You guys won't believe what it is. It's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. Stay tuned for my mixtape coming soon. Young Soup Kitchen got a song coming out called Professor Biscuit Daddy. So my channel is growing, it's going up. I've been posting every week a couple times and I'm gonna continue doing that. The other day I dressed up like a carrot and skated my local park. Here's that.
Yeah, up in the score, yeah, I'm winning. I set the clock till it's in.